It's a busy day in your ASEAN Basketball League Season 9 as it's a 4-game slate that you'll be able to watch today, but this one is going to be between the Formosa Dreamers and the visiting Singapore Slingers. Formosa, fresh from a win yesterday, and they are going to try to protect their home court once again, going and trying to start this new year with back-to-back wins. As you can see, they improved to 7-2 yesterday after defeating the CLS Knights, while the Singapore Slingers will be playing their first game in 2019. This one is coming to you straight and live from the Changhua County Stadium. My name is John Sulit. With me is Kirk Long. We're just about ready. The visiting team being introduced right now. We'll talk more about these two teams, but right now it's time to meet Singapore and Formosa. Before that, let's take a quick look at the team standings. These two teams, Kirk, in okay places right now, about halfway or not even halfway through the season.
Yeah, definitely they're right where they want to be. The winner of this game would take that head-to-head advantage, which is crucial, especially when these two teams are right next to each other, second and third in the standings. And this game could very much well be a critical game when you get to the end of the standings going into playoff time.
Absolutely. Let's turn it over now to our Coliseum announcer as he introduces the visiting squad.
Number 32, Russell Lowe. Number 55, Lavin Raj. And their starting five. Number 5, Bailey Johnson Fields. Number 12, Jaren Young. Number 15, Xavier Alexander. Number 17, Han Bing Name. Number 23, Delvin Cole. Their head coach, Beng Xiang Neo. Assistant coach, Michael Johnson.
Formosa Dreamers! 梦想篮坛新秀 UBA 得分王 Number 7张庚宇，街头3对3传奇 Number 8郑伟。琼华在的伊娜拼命三郎 Number 32蔡正宪，拥有傲人弹力的梦想飞人 Number 10蔡伟。上个赛季3分命中率50%的联盟第一人 Number 30吴颂威，全力抢争篮板，积极把握进攻球权 Number 4陈小荣，球队进攻发动机，神来妙传的助攻一个 Number 9陈世念。接着让我们欢迎 The Starting Five， 快攻助攻篮下进攻能力结佳的全方位禁区支柱 Number 31 William Martino， 身体素质劲爆、移动速度飞快的年轻锋线 ，Number 40 Devin Glass， 能从1号打到3号，180俱乐部成员 Number 33 Milton Miller。台美混血梦想潜力新星 Number 23 钱可妮，台湾黄金后场回来就是要赢球 Number 6吕雪妮。Head Coach D. Murray, Assistant Coach 蔡耀勋、赖柏林。Our referees for today from Philippines, Rico Bueron. From Thailand,
Dean Murray and the Formosa Dreamers still undefeated in this very stadium. They are 3-0 at home, and one of their losses on the road came in the hands of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And that's also what happened to the Singapore Slingers when they played San Miguel Alab in their last game.
Yeah, they both, Formosa and the Slingers both played Alab pretty tight. They gave them competitive games. The Slingers losing by 6 points, struggling from three-point land, and but they were able to do some positive things like create those turnovers and get in transition, which they'd like to do more of today.
Absolutely. Well, yesterday Formosa got their 7th win of the season, their 3rd here at home, and it was a back-and-forth game, but throughout, it was the Dreamers holding control of the game.
Yeah, and it was just a well-balanced attack for the Dreamers. Kenneth Chin played great, attacking the basket. Sometimes it was Artino setting up teammates. Sometimes he took it to the rim. It was just a variety of players stepping up for the Dreamers at different times, and that's a big reason why they've had so much success this year. Is they have so many different guys who can create things for their team.
Absolutely, and we talk about the imports. Obviously, they're a big part of these two teams. You see the matchup, John Fields having that monstrous performance against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, but it wasn't enough for a win. I'm sure he would have settled for less points, but getting home the W.
Yeah, and John Fields, big athletic body, able to do a lot, especially against maybe PJ Ramos. He had that quickness advantage, and he was able to score in a variety of ways with 35. And that should be a good matchup with him, with Artino, who's also very capable of creating off the dribble, finishing down at the paint, finishes high off the glass. So 2 explosive big mans, and it should be a fun battle to watch.
Absolutely. These are the men who will be responsible for officiating this ball game. Frida Pongsida of Thailand, Rico Bueron of the Philippines, our lead referee, and Stephen Yuen of Hong Kong. What's the statistic or maybe an aspect of the game, Kirk, that you think is going to be a key, the biggest key here for both teams?
Yeah, I think the assist game is big. This Dreamers team is very talented, lots of different shooters, and they know how to play together. And I think the Slingers are going to have to rely on that same thing. You can't just expect to win games with just one guy, with Xavier Alexander stepping up or John Fields. It's going to be a group effort today for the winning team, and they're just going to need the different role players to step up and make big shots. So assist, and then at the same time, what goes with assist is turnovers, taking care of the ball well, getting those quality shots, especially in this environment. The Dreamers will feel at home. Will the Slingers be able to stay composed and get the quality shots they need to pull out a win?
Both these teams started out the season in a very good manner. 6-0 start for the Formosa Dreamers before losing back-to-back games. And as for the Singapore Slingers, they also had a good start to the season, winning 5 of their first 6 games. But they also are coming off back-to-back losses. They're hoping to use the holiday break to create some resurgence as Jaron Young starts this game out with that jumper. A good sign for Coach Neo Beng Xiang.
Yeah, most definitely. Coming off the pick and roll, you got to switch. Ooh.
And there he is on the defensive end. New spring on his legs here in 2019. The X-Man, Xavier. Now you see this lineup of the Singapore Slingers. They've been using this to start ball games a lot. No pure point guard, but they've given the ball to Xavier Alexander, and he has filled in that role of facilitator.
Yeah, just like we see there. Just dishing it off to the corner, driving, kick, creating for his teammates. And when you have multiple guys who can handle the ball and set up the offense, that's a big advantage because you can get stops and you can just run up the floor much quicker.
Ung Han Bin scoring the three-pointer, but then Will Artino, I don't think he realizes it's a new game. I think he's still operating the way he did yesterday.
Yeah, he's starting off right where he left off, and such a soft touch. His teammates know where to find him, which is pretty much anywhere on the court. He's capable of doing good things.
Malcolm Miller with a great stop there on Young. No, Miller is a two-way guy, and we saw that yesterday and pretty much in all of the games that Formosa has played this season.
Yeah, I think that's a big credit to Coach Dean. Is just he gets all of his, Coach Dean Murray gets all of his players just that weak side help. They move so cohesively as a unit out there. It makes it hard for the Slingers or anyone for that matter to get those easy baskets.
The Slingers on the run. Han Bin, the three-point shot is good again. That jumper is looking wet to start 2019.
Yeah, Han Bin, no hesitation there. Catches it in rhythm, the hands down, and he fires it up there, and his shot looking very smooth here today.
Lee setting up the offense. They go with Kenny Chen, who also had a good game yesterday, scoring 10 points in that Formosa win. Artino draws near. The defense is ready for him. Young starts a fast break. Alexander to other side. This time it's a no-go. Young there, though, to get the offensive rebound, and he draws a foul.
Yeah, good active movement by Young with a block, doing a variety of things here today, getting those scrappy points.
How about Ung Han Bin getting off to a hot start? 2 3-pointers, both of those coming off assists from Xavier Alexander.
And that's why it's so important for these role players to step up and be ready. You never know when it's going to be your turn to fill in those shoes to help your team get a victory. And with so much attention on a guy like Alexander, you have to be ready when the defense collapses. If he does not take that shot, he's hurting his team. So right mindset for him.
And I think, you know, how Xavier Alexander has been able to adjust his game to the different mixes of players that we've seen on the side of the Singapore Slingers. It's just a testament to how talented that guy really is. He used to drop 30-point games on a nightly basis, but now understanding there's a different role for him. Artino, however, is just getting his points underneath.
Yeah, it is credit to Alexander, though, when you can rise not only your ability, but the people around you and make them better. That's the storyline of a true great player.
Defense again working for Formosa. They get the steal. That's how they built the advantage yesterday against CLS. Miller was fouled by Ung Han Bin. Referees say, though, that he wasn't in the act of shooting yet.
He was about to be, but wasn't yet.
He was still pulling off that sidestep, and he wasn't quite in that final step where he was about to take the shot.
Yeah, the ball was still in a position where he was trying to protect it above his head, so good call there by the officials.
Catch and shoot for Miller. Couldn't score a different way. Oh, but miscommunication. Delvin Go just threw that ball away. How about that block? Jaron Young says no, no, no.
Coming out of nowhere twice to say, not in my house. And Young, explosive player, and showing us what he can do on defense.
Last, thought about the three. Now we'll draw closer. Tevin misses his first attempt. Ball is loose, taken by Ung. You mentioned how explosive Jaron Young is. I talked to Xavier Alexander and Jaron before the season started, and both of them were saying that Young is like a younger version of Xavier.
Most definitely, I can see some similarity there. Young probably needs a little bit more time in the weight room before he has Alexander's strength, but definitely some key strengths in their game.
Tevin Glass off to a rough start here shooting-wise. Alexander, the feed to Fields. Underneath, being bothered by two white shirts. John Fields gets fouled. He'll head to the free throw line again. Speaking of free throws, right now, Singapore 2 for 2 with Young making his 2 attempts. But against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, Kirk, that was one of their weak spots. Only went 11 for 22. And that game ended with a 6-point lead for Alab. So that could have been a win for them.
Yeah, definitely tough. And, you know, especially when you're not on your home court, maybe those free throws are a little bit harder to drop. But at the same time, it's the same distance, it's the same height of rim, it's the same basketball. So these guys have to continue to develop their confidence from the free throw line, and that's really all it is a mindset.
Miller would like to take over offense, but he continues to miss the mark. Fields in transition. Thought he caught the ball in an awkward position and thus wasn't able to get the layup. Apologizes to Alexander.
Yeah, and you can really tell that the Singapore Slingers here are looking to attack in the fast break. They are trying to get up and down the court. They want to make this a sprint and they get those easy baskets.
10-4 the advantage for the Slingers rather. And it has been a tough outing for the Dreamers so far. Maybe feeling some fatigue from yesterday's game. Kenny Chen, that's what he can do. Go hard to the paint and if not make the layup, draw fouls.
Yeah, he's a quick player. We saw it several times yesterday. He gets the defense back on their heels, and he knows how to slice in there and create things.
That's going to be the first foul on Han Bin. Chen knocks down that free throw. Only the first attempt for him and the Formosa Dreamers from the field right now. They're 2 for 10. Very far from their hot start yesterday against the CLS Knights.
We know it can fall though, so you know it wasn't the fastest start yesterday against the Knights either, and it might take them some while, but defense helps that a lot.
And Kenny Chen just taking it to the defense of Xavier Alexander and making the tough lay-in.
And that's what makes Chen so tough. Left hand, right hand doesn't matter. He can finish with both sides. And when you're attacking the basket like that, with that explosiveness, it's no wonder that he doesn't find the basket even more.
Foul is called on Lee Shui Lin. And he was also given, I'm not sure if it's an official warning, but the referees asked him to calm down as he was trying to contest that call. We have a timeout on the floor. 10-8 is the lead of the Singapore Slingers.
Alright， 上面的朋友，梦想家需要你们的声音 ，Come on！ 上面的有没有？现在我们有点暂时落后，可是我们要把我们的声音给拿出来，给我们的梦想家们持续的鼓励加油，不要吝啬你们的声音 ，Come on，Let's go！ 再来呐喊一下梦想家，梦想家，加油！
好，谢谢你们，也谢谢对面 VIP 席的小朋友们，相当热情。
The home crowd here in Changhua County Stadium seems to be a big advantage for the Formosa Dreamers. As we've mentioned earlier, they haven't lost a game here. 3-0. Now, Kurt, you played in raucous stadiums. How much of a factor is the crowd really in basketball games?
Oh, it's a big benefactor. It helps you just with that extra motivation and that adrenaline in the building, knowing you got people out here cheering you on and that are going to be disappointed if you don't show up. So it just helps provide that physical energy you need, but then also that mental toughness aspect that this is our house, you're supposed to protect it, and that's what the Dreamers have been able to do well in this building, is just have that chip on their shoulder, knowing that they don't want to disappoint their fans here.
Martino misses. That's a hook shot though that he usually makes. We're talking about the fans here. One thing you can say about them, came stuck with this team. As you see that block made by Tevin Glass. Says no to Xavier Alexander. Look at it, the help defense. put an umbrella over that shot. And just talking about the crowd, they stuck with the Formosa Dreamers even through the darkest of days last season when they just had one win. And now they're rewarding as Fields says, silence over here. That slam put home by John Fields.
Yeah, they do have some loyal fans, but they're stunned a little bit right now as Fields is enjoying life down in that key, in that paint. And those are high percentage shots, so you give up too many of those and it's hard to beat anybody.
On the other side, the Dreamers still struggling to find their rhythm. That's going to be a traveling violation on Fields. Also getting warned for continuous complaining.
Both sides getting some warnings, but that's just the energy and passion they're playing with here as we see the review on that monster slam.
Again, coming from another assist from Xavier Alexander. And Fields made sure everyone in this stadium knew what he just did.
Yeah, Alexander drops 9 dimes, 9 assists a game, so he really knows how to find his teammates.
A technical foul has been whistled. And I believe it's on the bench of the Singapore Slingers. They were really unhappy about that traveling call on John Fields. I want to ask you what you saw there.
I thought he had possession up top and that he shuffled his feet before he got rid of the pass. Now the question is, when did he gain possession of the ball? And that one's sort of hard to tell, but the referees were right there in front of it and they had the clearest angle, so I thought that was a good call.
It was assistant coach Michael Johnson that was called for a technical foul. And the thing is, and we discussed this when we were talking off air, Kurt, there are certain moves from many players that kind of thread the line. Some might say it's a traveling violation, some might say it's a good play. We're obviously talking about several players, including NBA players like James Harden, and a bunch of other guys pulling out those side steps, those step backs. And it becomes really difficult for referees to call.
Yeah, it is difficult. Their job is to be consistent.
How about Anghan Bin? His third three-pointer here in the first quarter.
Anghan Bin letting it fly, and I know why, because he can shoot the rock and very consistent, and he's the reason right now why the Slingers are enjoying a 6-point lead.
He came into this game averaging only 4.1 points, but Kenny Chan with an answer to that.
Starting to heat up here in Taiwan, folks. Both these teams can score the basketball, and you know, they're playing hard defense, but right now it's good offense. That's setting the tone early.
Fields loses the basketball. Miller takes the hold of it. Alexander meets Malcolm Miller. Chen, this time attacks. Hangs in the air. Wayward with this attempt. Now it's Singapore on offense. Young, the kick out to Alexander. Xavier tried to leave it to Fields, but that was tapped away. It will be Formosa basketball. Okay, the referees are talking now, and they correct the call. They say it will stay with Singapore, which I believe is the right call. The Formosa Dreamers aren't even arguing the correction.
Yep, good job by the officials to communicate. That's why we got 3 of them down there on the court. Get every angle possible, and good call. We'll see what the Slingers can do here with 12 seconds left on the shot clock.
Kirk, it's been a shootout here, and Woo Sung Wei has just entered the game. It could be a bigger shootout between these two teams. Fields, I thought that was supposed to be a pass. Alexander trying to tip it in. That's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation.
Ooh, but on Fields' lobs, it did hit the rim. So it was a hard call. I mean, because he was trying to pass it, I believe, the lob pass. To Alexander, but sometimes things don't get seen. We've seen that in a lot of different leagues.
Absolutely, and you know, we have a technical team that reviews games every after the final buzzer. I'm sure that's going to be one point of discussion later. 16-13, under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. The Singapore Slingers up by 3. Chen has entered the game, the veteran, looking to provide a spark here. Martino taking Fields. Couple of pivots, couldn't get the roll. Fields looking to pass it out. Young has Tevin Glass in front of him. Jaron. Now they're looking for that mismatch. Kelvin go much bigger than Wu, but Ardino ready to help. And that forces another Singapore turnover. However, they get the ball right back. Han Bin will test his luck again. Good line, good result. 12 points already for Han Bin.
4 for 4, and I'm sure that Coach Dean Murray is going to be able to talk to the Dreamers during the first quarter break on how they need to pick him up once he crosses half court, because if he's not picked up in transition, he's letting it fly, and he's been money.
It has been an incredible performance. Oh, what a play there, what a pass. And the cut of Miller results to that jam.
That's great chemistry right there. Those guys read each other's eyes, teammates on the same page. You love to see it. It's beautiful basketball.
Han Bin hooks it up again. It's a miss. And one of the 4 shots of Han Bin was downgraded to a 2-pointer, so he has 11 points. And now 3 for 5 from downtown. Tevin Glass tip, a bit too strong, hit the shot clock, so it's going to be Singapore basketball. Take a look at this, that pass from Chen, and Miller knew just what to do with that basketball.
Yep, perfect timing, just good reading the defense. Alexander was overplaying a little bit, so Miller read it, went back door, and a great play by 2 veteran players.
That's what you'll hear from a lot of coaches, Kirk. They will tell you that when you're passing the ball, you put it where the recipient has to receive it, not where the recipient is necessarily.
Yeah, where they're going to be, not where they are. So definitely led Miller straight to the basket, and he caught it in rhythm and flushed it down.
Fields forces that one up. Good defense played by Formosa. They can also take the final shot of the first quarter. 12 seconds remaining on the clock. It's Miller versus Alexander. Malcolm using the help from Chen. That's going to be a foul on Xavier Alexander. It will be his first. Curiously, Alexander scoreless here in the first quarter, but he does have 5 assists.
Yeah, 5 assists, still helping out, and he'll know when it's time for him to sort of take over the offense for the Slingers. But I like what Formosa's doing. They're really sending out and making
Alexander may have come up short, but I thought that shot had a chance of going in, but Jaron Young was there, tried to tip it in. Nonetheless, the first quarter ends with the Singapore Slingers up by 4, 19-15. A lot of basketball action, a lot of points coming from that man, Han Bin. But Formosa also providing some of their highlights. We'll be back in a bit for the second quarter.
要再次提醒大家，把手中我拿的进来，刚刚每个人都有拿到的一个纸飞机的 A4 纸，我们待会在中场要有梦想飞腾的这个仪式，需要大家的参与，请大家再一次利用时间，把你的纸飞机给折起来，待会参加我们中场感动又有纪念价值的仪式呢，希望各位一起保持热情度，来帮我们加油之外，来跟我们一起参与待会的活动。如果你的右下角截角还没有把截角撕下来的话，赶快填上你的姓名，趁利用时间的空档，到大门的入口处找我们的工作人员，把你的截角投入抽奖箱，我们会有大奖送给大家。感谢各位。
It's the 9th season of the ASEAN Basketball League. Thanks for joining us as we rise to greatness here in Season 9. Formosa Dreamers trying to catch up, trying to trim this deficit. The advantage of the Slingers right now at 4 points. They're looking to up that here. Judd Sulit and Kirk Long on the call for this one. Now in the first quarter, Kirk, it was really the hot shooting of Ang Han Bin that gave the advantage to the Slingers, but are you seeing something else here, some points of attack they can capitalize on?
Yeah, the Slingers really looking to be aggressive in the fast break, and then on the other side is Formosa really trying to get in that pick and roll action, seeing how they can split and dive into the lane.
That's a turnover though for Formosa. They had a handful in the first quarter, 2 errors, but looking at the stat sheet right now, some might be surprised to see that Singapore has committed 8 turnovers. And, you know, Formosa is one of the best defensive teams in the league. We saw that yesterday against CLS, forcing the Knights into a lot of errors. The difference is, yesterday, the Dreamers converted those turnovers into points for them. Right now, they only have 4 points of 8 turnovers of Singapore.
Yeah, some of those turnovers are because of the Dreamers and their defense, but some of it's just been the style of play that the Slingers are trying to play right now. They're really throwing long outlet passes and pushing the ball in transition. And when you play that high-speed basketball, you're going to make more mistakes. And I think the Slingers coaching staff is okay with that. They want to try to get out on that open floor and get those easy baskets. So it's a risk that they're willing to take at this point.
Jaron Young adds the lead of the Slingers as he knocks down those free throws. Will Artino has been a contributor with 6 points, but we saw him take charge in the first half against the CLS Knights. Let's see what he can do here. Malcolm Miller has been able to produce only 2 points, so finally someone provides some positive for Formosa with Chen getting that lay-in.
Yeah, Chen doing the dirty work there. Good job crashing the boards, putting it back in. And these role players are going to have to continue to step up for Formosa if they want to win these tough games.
Fields testing the defense of Artino. He steps back, shoots the baseline J. Desmond, getting the rebound. Young from outside. Miller clipped him. It was an easy call for the referees to make.
Yeah, just wasn't balanced on Miller's closeout, and got to give the shooter space to land, and not happening on that play. Good job by the officials.
This was the hard work of Chen being rewarded with that putback. Chen Xiaozhong averages only close to 7 minutes. Less than 2 points per game. He's already at his average right now, and he doesn't see a lot of action, but when he's put on the floor, he gives everything he's got.
And that's what you need. And you need guys to come in. Just a few minutes of relief for Artino, for Glass. Those different guys will come up big later in the game when their legs are fresh because of quality minutes from guys like Chin.
Looks like Singapore has learned their lesson from the many free throws they missed against San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas. At this point, with Young completing another one, completing his trip, 3 for 3. Singapore is now 7 for 9 from the free throw line. Actually, 7 of Young's 9 points have come from the 15-foot parallel. Miller, quick trigger. Those are shots that were falling in their game against CLS, and the same can be said with the sweeping hooks of Will Artino. Those two connecting. Miller was able to get that off the glass.
And that's the type of game that Artino can bring, is finding his teammates.
Look at the hustle, Kirk, of those guys. Bodies crashing on the floor. All of them just trying to get possession for their team.
And that's the passion and energy they play with, and that's what the fans come to see, is these guys, you know, fight for every possession, and that's what makes the ABL so exciting. These guys are out here giving it all, trying to get a victory.
This was the give-and-go play, executed to perfection by Malcolm Miller and Will Artino. That's really a weapon of the Dreamers. And do you think that fatigue from yesterday's game could be a factor here?
You know, the Knights did make the Dreamers play, you know, a tough 40 minutes of basketball. At no point was that a game that they just rolled over. The Dreamers really had to earn it. So some of it is, could be, and we might not see it yet now, but towards the end of the game, those legs could be a little bit tired on those jump shots. So we'll see if they can continue to knock down shots as the game progresses.
Here come the Dreamers. 7.5 minutes. Malcolm Miller wanted to get that over the defense, but just miscalculated that floater. Desmond goes cross-court to Alexander. Xavier to Fields. Defense was there. Look at Kenny Chen lock him up. Fields will try again. The spin, the hang in the air. And he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Good move by Fields, but the last thing you want to do is bail him out, you know, when he's off balance, falling away from the basket. He makes that shot, let him, you know, clap your hands, good for him. But don't bail him out and let the Slingers get back to the free throw line where they're shooting a high percentage at the moment.
It's now going to be John Bailey Field shooting. Lots of fans here inside this stadium. Some anxious faces as their team still down by 5. Fields misses the first one. He's gonna get one more, again coming off of a 35-point performance against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. However, really struggling from the free throw line right now.
These Slingers are in that triangle trap up top, really trying to get Formosa out of their comfort zone.
Chen working against Desmondo. Artino trying to force that up. The defense of Singapore has been ready for most of the Formosa attacks, Kirk.
Yeah, they have been, and they're staying active, and we've seen Young with some blocks, different guys, you know, really protecting the rim.
Now it's the Slingers' turn to operate on offense. Artino and Fields battling each other. Now they go to Alexander. Has size advantage over Chien. Xavier loses the basketball. This has been a highly defensive game. Chien decides him, and the swipe, the clean one by Charon Young. Alexander takes it to the rack.
Yeah, he saw Lee in front of him and knew exactly what to do with it. Alexander taking it to the hole strong and increasing on the Slingers' lead.
He's looking for a foul as well. 6:26 remaining in the first half. The lead of the Slingers has extended to 7 points, 26-19. We have a timeout. We'll be back with more ABL. Back here on the floor of the Changhua County Stadium in Taiwan. This one is between the Formosa Dreamers and the Singapore Slingers. The visiting team up by 7 points behind the leadership of Xavier Alexander. Kenny Chen bothered by Young. Chen going one-on-one to shoot. The block by Young, that's his 3rd rejection of the game.
Yeah, he's a great defensive player. And another great defensive play as Formosa able to slide their feet and stay in front of Alexander, who's a little bit frustrated, but Young has those long arms, and Chin's gonna have to be a little bit more shifty and go stronger to the basket if he wants to get by Young on that last possession.
Miller uses the pick from Martino. However, that kick out pass landed out of bounds straight to the bench of the Singapore Slingers. There have been a lot of turnovers here in the second quarter, Kurt.
Yeah, some frustration. Some of that's the defense. Some of that's just, you know, guys not on the same page as Lee didn't stay in the corner like Malcolm wanted. But then, you know, there's also Coach Dan Murray just telling Malcolm, you know, shoot it up. You're already there in the paint.
Alexander, he likes this matchup against Chen. Free to shoot. Savior, the turnaround, the fadeaway, bucket.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot more of that if they leave Chen on Alexander. He's just a bigger body and could make a living down there in the post.
Right now it's Singapore just exposing the defense of the Dreamers. Lee goes to Artino. Will Artino could not get his shots to fall tonight. Artino is just 3 for 9. Han Bin continues to wax hot from the field.
And that's a set, even though that's in transition, that's a setup play. The Slingers look for him. They get the ball in the corner. They space out the Formosa defense. And you don't pick up the shooter in transition, and Han Bin's making him pay for it.
Kenny Chen able to power himself down low. That's really how he wants to attack. You know, just take his defenders strong to the basket. Fields gets the defense up in the air, but great discipline from Malcolm Miller to keep his hands up. Artino, the sidestep, finds a way to get that to fall, and looks at his hands, tells them, finally you make something happen.
Yeah, he's saying thank you. He's had some great attacks to the basket. They haven't fallen, but he sort of willed this one in with the sidestep between two defenders and kisses it off the glass for a nice and one opportunity.
How are things more difficult for Artino today? What's the difference between the defense that he had to play with against CLS and now against Singapore?
Well, John Fields is an explosive athlete and has really done well, and they're taking things away from him. What Artino did so well yesterday was when the CLS Knights were in the zone, and they found Artino in the middle, and he was able to make wise decisions. Right now, the Slingers are just in that man-to-man defense, and he's having a little bit harder time finishing at the rim against a good defender like Fields.
But that shot, that three-point play from Artino could be huge. Could really give them that boost that they're needing, especially from that guy who led them in the first half yesterday. Young, difficult three-pointer. Nothing too difficult for Jaron Young.
Yeah, Fields checks out, and Young says, no problem. I can create some offense for us, and a great stroke from him.
Miller. Well, you see how difficult it is for Formosa right now. The defense of Singapore is so tight. Really closing all openings. And then on offense, they're getting shots like this, the step back from Young, bottom of the net from 3.
Yeah, great basketball. And the Slingers, you know, as Fields checks back in here, but that's credit to their team as a defense. The other players that have checked in, playing well defensively, helping on the weak side, and really frustrating Artino and Malcolm from not letting them get any easy buckets inside.
Well, that should get him started. Miller also stroking it from deep.
He's going to find the bottom of the net. You know, there's a reason why he has the highest percentage three-point shot in the league, and you know, he needs to stay confident, needs to keep stroking it, and that's why the Dreamers are never out of any game, because they have a guy like Miller who can shoot it from range.
Young will try that step back again. That time very well defended by Lee. Kevin Glass to Kenny Chen, gets the bump, gets it to fall.
Yeah, great job by Chen, and I like to see Glass. He gets that rebound and he pushes it, looks for his teammates, and setting up the offense himself. And that's what both these teams have, is several guys who can bring down the ball and just get them into their offense.
Young feeding Fields. He's been asking for that basketball. Sweeping hug for John Fields. That's good.
Yeah, almost impossible shot to block, and Fields down there one-on-one. It's hard for anyone to stop him.
How about Lee Shui Lin making his presence felt with that three-pointer?
Yeah, Lee Shui Lin, very disciplined guy. He's in here, one of the first guys in the gym before both games, working on that shot right there. He has his trainer setting the pick for him, and he's imagining himself in that position right there, and that's where hard work pays off.
Well, Lee, a longtime member of the national team of Chinese Taipei, and also was a finals MVP in 2012 for the Chinese Basketball Association. Desmond O, obvious foul there. I don't know why he's complaining. He pulled Lee down to the floor.
Yeah, he's trying to make sure Lee doesn't go back-to-back threes. As we see the replay here of Malcolm Miller's three-point shot that might wake up him here today.
We've seen so many three-point shots here, and well, it's a mini run that Formosa is on. They've trimmed the deficit down to just 5. Lee sets up Tevin Glass. Jumper, it's good.
Yeah, Glass can stroke it too, and he's sort of the guy in their offense that you can forget about. But once you forget about him, he makes you pay, because good stroke from the outside and just long, lanky body can offer a lot on both sides of the court.
It's a 10-2 run for the Formosa Dreamers. Lee Shui-Lin, a big part of that. Fields attacking baseline, tried to send it out. Alexander will chase it. Had no more space to save that basketball. Tevin Glass goes to the bucket, and just like that, the Formosa Dreamers are within 3 points. And listen to this crowd. They have woken up here inside the Changhua County Stadium. And the Singapore Slingers forced to call a timeout. What a resurgence from the Dreamers. Their last bucket, this beautiful layup from Tevin Glass.
Okay, guys, come on. Be more disciplined and be more confident on the defensively. Alright, too easy for the shot. Alright, let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
请为球迷高下台内斯打报奉献 ATC 8585的车子 ATC 8585的车子，感谢您。
Now, my apologies, it's not a 3-point lead for the Slingers. It's just a 1-point lead now, Kirk, with the massive 12-2 run being deployed by the Formosa Dreamers. Hang on to your seats, folks. You will want to watch the rest of this ball game. Earlier, Singapore comfortably ahead. Not anymore. Alexander feeds Delvin Go. Looking to attack Miller. The drop step. Fields trying to slam that back, couldn't do it. And now Formosa with a chance to take the lead. Lee thought about the 3, decides against it, and they go back to Miller. Martino setting the pick. Glass from deep. Oh, good. Go with the board.
Everybody was ready to explode there. Good possession. Miller coming off the pick and roll. You'd like to see him a little bit more aggressive, but still, good look from Glass.
And the defense of the Dreamers just enough to force that miss. Lots of contact on that shot by Fields.
Yeah, but he has to know that going in. It's an aggressive game, and the refs want to let the boys play, and play they will.
And Miller draws that foul on John Fields. That will be 3 free throws for Malcolm Miller. And this will be Formosa's chance to get the lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, they've stayed composed as we see the replay here. Kicks out the feet a little bit, but John Fields doesn't allow him the space to land, and you have to protect the shooter. Good job by the officials there. And the free throw line, so important in this game, and Formosa now will be able to, in the last 2 minutes, take their first lead of the first half.
I agree with you. There was an extension of the foot, but I would also agree with the refs that it's a foul on Fields because he caught Miller on the arm anyway.
That's correct. I was watching the feet mainly on the replay, where a lot of those fouls occur from the three-point line. But even up top, you know, if you're really trying to block a three-point shooter, you have to have a good angle on your closeout. It's hard to come straight in front of them and be able to reach out for that block, and Field just wasn't in the right spot to really contest that shot well.
Now, most of this first half has belonged to the Singapore Slingers, taking control again behind the hot shooting of Han Bin. But with 1.7 seconds remaining in the second quarter, now there's a chance for Formosa to take the lead. How were they able to turn things around?
Oh, it started off on defense. I think they forced some turnovers, and Formosa's not normally a team that gets out in transition, but they were able to. You get those easier points. The crowd got into it. Shots started to fall. And I give the Dreamers the credit on defense is what really sets up a lot of what they're able to do.
Miller now gets the lead. For Formosa, that's their first taste of the advantage here in this game. Miller extends that lead to 2. He's got 10 points now. Young will run out of time. And the Formosa Dreamers, they dared to dream to take that advantage before the first half ended. And just in time they did. It's now a 38-36 lead for the home team as we head into the half.
好，现在为到中场休息的时候，我们会访问到 Mori 教练。那上半场现在比赛非常焦灼，那进入到下半场，我们来问问教练，还有什么因应的对策。
Well, the last 5 minutes of the second quarter, we really played good defense.
就是上第二节的最后5分钟，我们的防守做得非常好。
We have to keep playing defense the same way and the same intensity.
然后下半场我们就要拿出一样的防守强度。
那今天由于对方的 Alexander 是这个联盟最高的后卫，那进入到下半场的话，对他有什么任何的防守的对策？
Alexander is the tallest guard in the league, so is there any strategy on defense on him?
On who?
Alexander.
I mean, we're playing good. I mean, he doesn't have any points, so we're good.
就是我们会用一样的防守策略去守他，因为他现在发挥并不是那么好，我们只要维持一样的强度就好。
好，谢谢教练。好，那进入到休场休息，我们休息一下，待会回到中场讲评。
放在手上折好的，以及右下角的截角，你赶快来准备好。待会我们要邀请的嘉宾一起在场中来跟我们见证梦想机票的幸运儿的球迷朋友，就用我们热烈的掌声欢迎宝岛梦想家的领。
当然也特别 借这个机会啊，感谢球迷朋友。我们去年战绩真的不怎么样啊，那今年呢，也希望大家可以感受到我们的诚意，也努力的为各位赢球。那我想。 先给你们自己一个掌声鼓励好了，谢谢你们
，Thank you,
Let's go Dreamers。
好的，那我们的活动呢，是不是待会儿呢，把手上的这个飞机，2楼的朋友们也是一样，把你们的这个梦想纸飞机拿在手上，
都有了吗？小朋友，你已经超线喽，等一下罚球。
对，
小朋友都准备好，哎，你们不能赖皮。 不能赖皮，不能踩到线，踩到线的话就不行了。
对，我们请大家以这个梦想家的 logo 为中心，把梦想射到我们的场中央来。
我们随着我们手上的纸飞机呢，
都有吗？
跟着我们的梦想，2019年。
我们请所有1楼的朋友也站起来好吗？我们从2楼、1楼的朋友们，我们都站起来。
再次强调，我们要送出什么？
机票，梦想机票。
重点是，应该是跟着我们可以去客场狂一波。
对，没错，没错，感受一下我们客场的气氛。
我们客场非常好玩。
对，
想要跟我们客场狂一波的话，就跟我们的张宪民总经理一起走就对了。
OK，
他绝对让你欲仙欲死。
完了，黑哥，
这个是越来越偏了。
不，我是说，他要让你感觉到篮球的热情
啊！对。
宪哥的 FB 开始已经有人加他了。 好，准备好了，我们。
想要甲阮超白大体只来顾，甲他试试看数目。
We're back in the beautiful city of Changhua County where the Changhua County Stadium is, and where this game between the Formosa Dreamers and the Singapore Slingers are being played. You're taking a look at Coach Dean Murray with Taiwanese national team head coach Charlie Parker, part of the crowd supporting the Formosa Dreamers today. Jutsulit and Kirk Long on deck to serve you this ball game. And, well, Kirk, it was just very late in that second quarter where the Dreamers were able to take their first lead of this game. What happened in that first half?
Yeah, I mean, we had Hanbin starting out hot, and we had the Slingers just playing tough defense. We saw some great blocks, but Formosa just stuck with it. They balanced attack. I really like how Kenneth Chen has stayed aggressive, and that was yesterday too. He averages 8 points, but he already has 11 points today at halftime. And I love what he's doing for Formosa Dreamers. And, you know, I expect him right here. That's what I was going to talk about next. Alexander only had 4 points in the first half. And he starts out hot there with a triple, and I expect him to sort of turn on the switch right now and be aggressive for his squad.
Xavier Alexander now with 7. He's only taken 7 shots in the game, and that's quite low for the standard of Xavier Alexander, but he has been trying to get his teammates involved. He had 6 assists in that first half. Kenny Chin could not get that layup. Almost a miscue for Singapore. They're lucky that the last touch was from Malcolm Miller. Now for Formosa, they just kept on fighting, and they just kept chipping away in that first half.
Yeah, they have so many different weapons and ways. I mean, Kenneth Chen just barely missed that last layup, but he can take it to the basket. He aggressive defensively, can get steals, and you know, they just have a balanced attack. So it wasn't necessarily one person just willing them back to the lead in that first half, but just a well-balanced attack from Lee, Miller, Chen, everybody, just Artino stepping up and playing good team basketball, which is what they're good at.
Oh, Miller and Glass fighting each other for the rebound. Eventually ball sailed out of bounds. That's why it's back with the Slingers. Alexander using his body. He gets his own miss. And Xavier Alexander just overpowers everyone down in the paint.
Yeah, he knows what he's capable of. In the first half, he was more of that facilitator. Right now, we're seeing his aggressiveness come out, and that's what's made him such a unique and powerful player here in the ABL.
Xavier Alexander, in their last game against San Miguel Alab, Pilipinas, the same can be said about him. He was more of a facilitator, finished with a triple-double of 10 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. Here, he's turned on the scoring jets, getting that miss and putting it back home. And it's an impressive performance. Anything that is a triple-double is impressive, but you kind of have that feeling that Singapore needs Xavier to score a bit more.
Yeah, he has to be a facilitator. That's what the team needs. But at the same time, he has to put the ball in the hole as well.
Sharon Young gets that layup, but the bad news for Singapore, Ang Han Bin, who has been playing an incredible game, is down on the floor. And that's something you never want to see, Kirk, a player holding on to his knee.
Yeah, definitely. He has one wrapped up already, but it looks like it could be his left knee in pain, as his teammates are going to help him wobble off the court here. And we do hope that he'll be okay and trainers can figure it out.
He's wincing in pain as he's carried single-handedly by John Fields. I'm impressed at the strength of Fields. This is what happened here. You'll see Kenny Chen. Oh, that is bad. Well,
could be a hyperextended.
Yeah, that's also what I'm about to say. Of course, we'll try to get the official diagnosis later on, but it did look like it could have been hyperextended on that play. Glass attacking Young. He slips, I think, on the wet spot. That was a result of Han Bin's fall. Desmano going down the lane, leaves it for Delvin Go. That's a step out of Go's range. Foul whistled on the box out play.
Glass trying to argue his case that he was just boxing out, but Fields did control the rebound first, so that contact there was called.
Shot clock will be reset to 14. What changes for Singapore with the exit of Ang Han Bin?
Well, you have the Formosa defense. The Dreamers are going to really be able to collapse more, which will make it harder to Alexander and other guys to sort of penetrate the lane because Ang Han Bin's able to space out the floor so well.
Miller goes coast to coast to deliver the deuce. And he gets a bonus as well. Look at that. Straight from getting a rebound, he goes straight to the basket and one.
Yeah, he's going to take the contact right here, then regain his balance and elevates that shot up. Nice move by him. And something I'd like to see more from Miller is attack the basket. He has one of the deadliest three-point shots in the league, but at the same time with his frame and ability and skill, he should be able to attack the basket and still create even higher percentage shots for him.
Formosa extending their defense in the backcourt. Easily broken up by Singapore. Now they get the set of their offense. Alexander to Cole. Delvin Goh drops the hammer there with that short layup.
Yeah, that's great chemistry. Alexander catches it and knew right away where Goh was going to be when the next man stepped up and stopped Alexander, and that was good teamwork.
Artino was left open. He barrels in just short on his hook shot, and that has been the case for most of his shots.
Yeah, those legs aren't really there for Artino that we saw yesterday. He had that little extra spurt of energy, but so far today, Artino just unable to execute and finish on a lot of those attempts that he would normally make.
Miller leaving it for Glass. Beautiful dish for Malcolm Miller, and all Tevin Glass had to do was go up and make the easy layup. The X-Man now goes to Young. Goal setting the pick. Desmond O. Singapore operating their offense. Kenny Chen doing a good job of standing in front of Kenny Chen. There was a foul whistled, no basket, as it was whistled way earlier before Alexander made that bucket. Take a look at this. It was whistled there, the bump. And then the X-Man would take a couple more steps before going up for that shot. So it's just a sideline inbound. Foul number 2 on Kenny Chen. And just the first team foul for the Formosa Dreamers here in the third quarter.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Chen. He's really battling down there, holding his own against one of the toughest players in the league. And but eventually, Alexander's going to get his numbers, going to get his shots up.
6:09 remaining in the third quarter. The Slingers back on top by 2 points. Young going to the middle, leaving it out. Desmond O, 3 is on the way. 3 falls down.
And it seems like Formosa keeps on their heels, but the Slingers right now are still responding with some crucial baskets of their own.
Lee Shui Lin was able to break down the defense, but couldn't get the layup. Alexander throws it down in transition.
He explodes, and that's Glass there, but Alexander knows what to do with it. Flushes it home, and Formosa's going to have to talk about it.
That was a quick run for Singapore. Not the biggest of runs.
到了暂停时间的依照惯例呢，我们要来跟现场的球迷朋友来一起进行波浪鼓啊！待会需要大家起立一下，把手举起来，让我们梦想持续的在球场围绕。准备好了，现场的球迷朋友 ，Ready One Two Go！ 耶！上面的球迷朋友，1楼的球迷朋友。 好，经过之后来绕一圈，这边的球迷朋友，谢谢。好的，感谢你们。待会呢，持续保持住我们的加油声。目前我们7分落后，但是比赛还没结束，加油！
You're back with us in Season 9 of the ABL Formosa Dreamers, currently in second in our team standings, only next to the undefeated San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. But actually, the Formosa Dreamers have won the most number of games with a 7-2 record. Miller and Young get tied up. That's going to be a jump ball, and ball possession will stay with the Formosa Dreamers. What do you think needs to happen here, Kirk, for the Formosa Dreamers to be able to get back?
I think their shooters just got to find the bottom of the net. You know, they're getting good quality shots. They're just unable to sort of get there, whether it's drives to the basket by Artino or Glass, just different guys. They just got to find shots to fall.
Offensive foul called an Artino. Now, when he goes to the basket, he usually really absorbs a lot of contact, but may have done a bit too much there to wipe away the D.
Yeah, I thought that was a good call. He lowered that shoulder, and Fields gathered position first right there. You can tell he's set, hands are off, and good job by Fields to recognize that. You're not going to block many of Artino's shots with his high release, but you can't fight for that good early position.
Oh, matchup with the lead. Jaron Young trying to go baseline. Fields. Good cut for John Fields. He practically bailed out Young because Jaron had nowhere to go. That's why he was giving instruction to Delvin go. He was expecting Delvin to cut to the basket.
Yeah, right now the Slingers are really executing. They score so many points in transition on fast break points, but even in the half-court set, they've really been able to just with down screens and backdoor cuts and hitting cutters going to the basket, they've set up some great shots for themselves.
And definitely, you know, the Slingers are a team that likes to get everyone involved. Of course, with the orchestration of Xavier Alexander.
Yeah, you can tell even during dead balls, he's talking to them, you know, how to execute better. They're at 16 assists right now. They average 20 per game. And anytime that you can average 20 assists a game and limit your turnovers, you're going to put yourselves in a position to win a lot of ball games.
Kenny Chen gets that jumper. And with that, he has tied his career high of 13 points.
Yeah, great job by Kenny Chen today. And his go-to is driving to the basket. So when he knocks down that jumper, that's going to create a lot of defense.
Oh! Will Artino with a hammer! And not to be denied.
The only problem is he's holding on to that ankle. I hope he's okay. That was a monster slam, but he came down sort of awkward on that ankle, and that could be the spark or that could be the injury that decides today's game.
Will Artino, however, down on the floor again. Well, he wanted to wake this arena up, and he did. But it may have come at a price.
And Coach is telling him, Coach Dean Murray's telling him, make the free throw, then I'll get a sub in for you. We'll see if he's able to complete this one as we see the monster replay here.
Oh boy. That is as high as highlights go. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes our top play of the week, Kirk.
Oh, most definitely. And look at there's two guys in that poster with him. I mean, he's skying up and above, but he took Fields with him on that ride.
That was just an incredible jam, and I just hope that Will Artino is okay, but he's saying that he'll head straight to the locker room and get retaped. But Artino providing that excellent play.
And he's jogging off on it okay, so the fans are giving him some support. And still over 14 minutes left to play in this game. And I know the Dreamers are hoping he can come back as quick as possible.
Lead of the Slingers down to 4, 52-48. They go to Fields. Miscommunication with Delvin goal. John Fields will have to go to work with Artino out of the game at the moment. A foul given up by Formosa to stop the play. Looks like Tevin Glass. Oh no, it's Chen. Chen Xiaojong will be called for that foul, his second. But since the Formosa Dreamers are in penalty, that will send Jaron Young to the free throw line. And boy, he has made a living from that line. He's currently 7 for 7.
Yeah, it's been a big difference here today for the Slingers at the free throw line. Helped them sustain their lead and now even grow with it. And there's over 4 minutes left in this quarter, and the Dreamers are going to have to be careful with their hands because every foul from here on out is going to be free throws for the Slingers.
Substitutions being made by Coach Dean Murray. You know, we've been putting the focus on Xavier Alexander and John Fields, but Jaron Young silently has made a big impact in this game. He's got 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists.
And the 3 monster blocks as well. He's filling up the stat sheet very nicely. Very talented player and doesn't try to go out of his comfort zone, but he knows what he's capable of doing, and he's doing a great job here today.
If and when we finally come up with the ABL fantasy, he's gonna be my top pick.
There you go.
But Formosa having something to say there.
Yeah, I want to see some emotion. Glass is one of those guys who can give this Formosa team that extra lift, and I think now's some time for him to step up and make some big plays.
Chen holding his own, defending John Fields. Oh, gets the bomb. Delvin Go using some muscle.
Yeah, Delvin Go been solid all game long for the Slingers. Very timely basket there for his squad. And a great pass also by Alexander, just knowing where his teammates are going to be.
Chen Qinyan to Tevin Glass. Looking to get to the bucket. Absorbs the bump. Couldn't get that shot to stay down, but he will take 2 free throws. It looks like Tevin Glass is just trying to spark his team at this point.
Yeah, and you have to. You know, one guy goes down, and the next person has to step up. Normally that's Artino really creating offense for his squad, but now it's Glass's turn.
Remember when Artino was really calling on his physical therapists in the team and they were jogging back to the dugout? It really felt like a pit stop in an F1 race, you know, when you're being timed and you really have to retape him as quick as possible, because the longer he stays out of that court, Kirk, the more damage Singapore can do. You see Delvin Go was able to get 2 points. That's largely because there's no Will Artino down low.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a good point. And each possession right now is important. We're going down to clutch time almost, and it's still anybody's game.
Referees had different calls. Looks like they'll convene and argue.
And they communicate, and the foul happened before the out of bounds. And the home crowd doesn't like it, but good job by the officials.
Well, if the referees called a foul when he received it, because if it was on the denial of Chen, then obviously it came way before Field stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, I think it was just that last bump right before he stepped out is what was called for a foul. So it looked like he had some pretty good position down there, sliding his feet, and Fields might have given a little bit of the contact, but nevertheless, they're in the right spot, and you got to trust what you see as an official.
And Fields can also argue that that's the exact reason why he stepped out of bounds, because of that nudge from Chen.
And those fouls being costly, those free throws are adding up here for the Dreamers.
Tevin Glass onto Chen. 10 seconds. He puts up a 3. Hits the board only, but Woo Sung Wei was there.
And they reset the shot clock to 14 after the shot. But the officials recognizing that it didn't hit the rim, they want it back down to 8 seconds.
And the crowd cheering, because there you see him, you saw him cross the screens. The man in the middle right now, Will Artino, ready to come back. And he even gets a high five from the X-Man, Xavier Alexander.
Alexander, he recognizes it. He knows that was a big-time dunk and play, and recognizes the intensity that these Dreamers have to come out even after being banged up, playing back-to-back nights. And it's cool to see him appreciate that.
Chen takes it to the cup. And the Dreamers making big strides here in the third quarter. One look at it again. Chen Qinyan, he knew he had strength advantage over Desmond and capitalized on it. Possible three-point play for the veteran.
And that was just timely. This is just a wise place, knowing when to attack. He's a three-point shooter, but he saw the gap and is able to play off of it. And a big-time basket as Formosa would like to finish this quarter out on a strong note like they did in the second quarter.
Chen Xinyan, the backup point guard of the Formosa Dreamers, only averages 4.2 points, about 2 assists, but his impact on the floor, his contributions go way past his numbers. Will Artino, however, no more than that dunk earlier, it was actually his return to the court that woke his team up, woke the crowd up, and it got juices flowing back on the side of Formosa.
Yeah, I mean, he came back in here and you could see the excitement and the passion that he had to get back on the court, and that just flows into all your teammates and it flows into the arena as well, that excitement and energy that he brings.
And Chen Xinyan, the former member of the national team of Taiwan, has brought his team within 4 points. Fields swinging that basketball, he receives it on the repost. The quick double from Malcolm Miller, bodies on the floor. And last touch on John Fields.
Yeah, great hustle and great double down from Malcolm Miller, who knew that, you know, Fields is a great one-on-one player in the post, so you send that double team down, and he's able to knock the ball loose.
Wet spots being attended to on the court right now. And look at that. The veteran literally does everything for Formosa, even mopping the floor. Did you ever have to mop the floor when you were playing?
Oh, maybe
in a game.
Maybe not in a scene in an atmosphere like this, but I mean, we both enjoy playing the sport still. We know, like, if there's a wet spot, it's going to do everybody a favor, including yourself, to get it dried up. So, you know, these guys don't want to slip out there. They want to be at their best, and that means, you know, having a dry floor to play on.
You saw on your screens just a while ago, again, Coach Charlie Parker of the national team of Chinese Taipei. Beside him is the owner of the Formosa Dreamers, Blackie Chen, a huge celebrity. And he has a following. You know, whenever the Formosa Dreamers travel, there are more people asking for photos from Blackie Chen than some of the players, even of the home team.
Yeah, he has that positive influence, and it's cool to see him using his energy and time on such a cool endeavor.
Absolutely. Kenny Chen looking to establish a new career high. Attacks Delvin. Goal, gets the bucket! And there it is. A new career high for Kenny Chen. 15 points now.
Oh, baby, what a move. That's just some shake and bake. Takes the contact, finishes high, and you love the energy and passion Kenny Chen plays with. And he's bringing this team to new levels. I don't know what New Year's resolutions he may have made, but whatever it was, it's working.
Absolutely. Well, you know, he didn't even completely get rid of Delvin Go on that crossover. And he just said, okay, you don't want to go anywhere, well, come with me. Now still score on you. He completes a three-point play. The Dreamers within one, 58-57. This is a similar story to what we saw in the second quarter.
The Slingers take a jab, and the Dreamers just claw right back into it. And that's why these two teams are so tough. They're both consistent. Both have a lot of things going for them here in this ABL season.
Desmond, kick out. Alexander from deep. Oh, that was a big shot. Xavier Alexander.
Yeah, and he had words to say afterwards too, but Alexander, he's really special when he gets heated up.
Miller looking to answer. Yes!
It's a shootout, folks. We got a ball game. Both these teams, lots of capability.
Oh, Jaron Young, back-to-back threes.
We'll see. I know what Malcolm Miller wants to do right now. He wants to answer. See what the Dreamers can come up with.
These are the situations, though, you don't want to be careless, John Fields. And also, he got away with taunting, pointed right at Chen Xinyan. Young thought about another one. Jaron Young to the basket, floats it over Artino.
Wow, Young has just been huge today. I mean, he can do it outside, but that time, calmly putting the ball on the floor, going in there amongst the trees and finishing at the rim.
This was the three earlier from the X-Man. And then an answer from Malcolm Miller right in between the eyes of Jaron Young. And then a couple of big plays afterwards. A block by Fields, another one from Young. Now this is how the Slingers want to end the quarter, not how they did in the second.
Most definitely, some great energy and setting up the stage for a big fourth quarter, but it's not over yet. Both these teams want to end on a high note.
Miller, Alexander in front of him, Martino setting the pick. Pocket pass to Will, lost his footing. And that will be last touch on the Singapore Slingers.
Yeah, great help side defense that time. And that's what the Slingers do well. You thought that Artino was going to be wide open on that pick and roll, but the Slingers not giving him any open looks.
Miller will now get to the basket, leaves it up for Chen. Ball was deflected, 2 to shoot. Artino moves it up. No good. Chen with the offensive board.
Yeah, Wisely brings it out. 12 seconds left, they'll go for one more good shot.
About 2.5 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Kenny Chen is just a master of making things happen when he's on his way to the basket.
Yeah, most definitely. I think he went a little bit too soon, still leaving 8 seconds left on the game clock for the Slingers to still get a basket, but definitely great things happening for Kenny Chen when he attacks the basket.
Again, he's working with a new career high of 16 points, and it's also a very crucial foul that he was able to fish from Delvin Go as Delvin picks up his 4th.
Yeah, Kenny Chen has had Delvin Go's number today. Just anytime it seems like he attacks, Delvin's been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Can Singapore say something in return? Fields barrels in, loses control. Was looking for a foul, and time will expire even before that attempt of Kenny Chen. Now the Slingers do enough to hold on to this advantage. The Dreamers were right there, trimming the deficit down to 1, but Singapore surging back to end the third period, up by 6 points. We have 10 more minutes of ABL action when we return.
远投3分，鼓励一下。远投3分。Slingers。Slingers。
Down to the last 10 minutes of this game between the Formosa Dreamers and the Singapore Slingers. And, well, if Formosa wants to get win number 8, then they want to go get back-to-back wins on this home floor. They gotta go now.
Yeah, and so far today, giving up 67 points in the first 3 quarters, that's tough for Formosa Dreamers, because if you look at their first 9 games, their 2 losses to Mono Vampires and Alab Pilipinas, both of those times they allowed those teams to score above 85 points. All their 7 wins, they kept their opponents under 85. So that's sort of my magic number today is, can their defense step up here in the 4th quarter, get the stops they need to get back in this game?
Well, that's not a good start for them as Alexander was able to score, also looking for a foul. So now for the rest of the way, if you're the Formosa Dreamers, you're looking to only allow the Slingers to score 16 points the rest of the way.
Yeah, and they can't win on offense right now. You're down, you got to get defensive stops.
Alexander hanging in the air. Couldn't get it, but Fields was there to mop up the mess. And that's a quick timeout called by Coach Dean Murray. It started out a low-scoring affair, but that 3rd quarter was played with high intensity. The Singapore Slingers scoring 31 there, and they open up the 4th period with 4 straight points. 10-point lead for the visiting team. We cut to a timeout.
我们现在呢，准备要来丢赠品给各位梦想家们，声音在哪里？
好的，下面的梦想家的球友尖叫声，
二龙的。
好了，小朋友相当可爱。好，来这边的毛巾，毛巾哪边要？毛巾哪边要？来，
这边的有没有要？
好，这边。好，谢谢大家，持续帮我们加油。虽然我们目前落后呢，但是我们并没有放弃，我们要迎接这场比赛的胜利了，加油 ，Let's go！
As you mentioned earlier, it's a busy day for the ASEAN Basketball League today. We got 4 games on deck. 1 is already done in Malaysia. The Hong Kongese are getting a win. Sean Fields getting an easy jam. He's fired up too. Well, like we mentioned, the Hong Kongese are getting an 89-78 win in Malaysia over the Westport's Dragons. We got later, Saigon Heat will host Mono Vampire in our final game of today. Will be San Miguel Alab Pilipinas hosting the Wolf Warriors in Cebu, Philippines. Right now we're in the middle of the Slingers run here in the 4th quarter. 6-0 run to start the 4th, and it could extend with Delvin Good drawing a foul on Willartino.
Yeah, and the Formosa Dreamers are really shooting themselves in the foot right now, giving up turnovers, which leads to this massive Fields jam, and they're just not getting quality shots. When you can't come back in the game if you don't allow yourself to get good looks at the rim.
Delvin Goal has been pretty solid here today too. 5 points, 7 rebounds for him. It's just for the Singapore Slingers. Guys trying to chip in. And we thought that after the exit of Chung Han Min, there might be a shortage of contribution from the locals, but they just found ways to produce. Another turnover. Miller trying to save it. Alexander taking that ball away. Jaron Young almost losing it. Delvin Go lays it in.
Wow, and just not the start to the 4th quarter that the Dreamers needed. They find themselves down by 15 now, and I don't know how much this team was built to come back from these types of deficits. We'll find out a lot in their character the next 7.5 minutes.
With Malcolm Miller, a bad fall for him. There have been wet spots on the floor. Hopefully Miller is okay. He's being helped up by Delvin Go and Jaron Young. This is a 9-0 start to the 4th quarter for the Singapore Slingers. They've completely sucked the life out, not only of the Formosa Dreamers, but also of this arena.
Yeah, most definitely you're right. And they're going to need the fans' help to get back in this one as we see that wet spot and Malcolm Miller taking a tumble. And looks like he'll be okay, but that's never fun to see a player go down like that.
So our My boys having to work an extra duty, an extra shift here. And we'll try to make sure that this playing court is safe for our players. We already saw Ang Han Bin and Will Artino incur some injuries earlier. Again, on your screens were Coach Charlie Parker, Lucky Chen, a lot of people out here in Taiwan supporting the Formosa Dreamers, but there hasn't been a lot to cheer for here in this fourth period. But from the first to the third quarter, there was a lot of Kenny Chen scoring a new career high, 17 points. And he's also grabbed a career high 4 steals, Kirk.
Yeah, he's been great. So active, such an energy player, but very skilled also. And we're seeing how explosive he can be here for the Dreamers inside and out. And they've done a lot of things well, but here in this fourth quarter, it's really the turnovers have added up. They now have 12 turnovers to only 11 assists, and this is a team that averages 17 assists per game. So when that number drops and your turnovers go up, it's hard to win basketball games. So we'll see if they can still, lots of time, 7:35 here to turn it around.
At this point, the Formosa Dreamers only have 11 assists. And I don't know if it's a huge point of concern, but Will Artino only has 11 points. He averages 19 a game. Tevin Glass trying to contribute. He ups his total to 11. 13-point lead now for Singapore. Alexander asking for it. Lip gives it up. Xavier doesn't get it. Delvin go up high for that board, but he couldn't control it. However, last touch still on the Dreamers. So it will stay with the Slingers with 12 seconds on their shot clock.
Yeah, Malcolm Miller went for that gamble. He's lucky that Alexander didn't knock that three-point shot down. Now will be Chen's turn. Chen to guard Alexander.
Fields a kick out to Young. Quick trigger on the three. Tried to beat the shot clock. Couldn't get it to fall. Miller now. He will attack, but the bump derailed him. Kick out to Artino, and Will just cannot buy a bucket at this point.
Ooh, mismatch down low. Artino's there.
And Kenny Chen with a nice feed to Artino. And that forces Coach Neo Beng Xiang to call a timeout as he feels that this could be something good brewing on the side of the Dreamers. He wants to put an end to it right now as 6:35. That's still enough time for the Formosa Dreamers to come back. They've been working on good plays like this. Kenny Chen feeding Will Artino. Has been impressive here in this game with 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. But he's also had a lot of help, and that has made his workload a lot lighter.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's ever had too much pressure on his shoulders to get that key basket. He's just had teammates step up, and he's been able to attack at the right times and dish at the right times.
Much of the help has come from this man, Jaron Young, but he turns the ball over. Tevin Glass to the basket, couldn't get the roll.
Unfortunate for him. I love Glass. He's such a workhorse. Does a lot of the dirty little things, you know, to help his team get wins. And his great steal just wasn't quite able to finish on the other end.
The X-Man looking for someone to pass to. They reset their offense with Young. 6 seconds to shoot. Jaron. Ball was tipped. They have to go. A second remaining. Lim Junyan doesn't get it, and that's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation.
Yeah, great job there by Malcolm Miller. guarding Lim, but came over on the weak side and really made it hard for the Slingers to get anything good on that possession. And those are the defensive stops that Formosa needs to build on. And the offense will come. We know they can score, but they gotta figure out ways like that last possession to get the Slingers out of their comfort zone on offense.
You're right. You know, Formosa Dreamers, they showed it earlier. They can go on a big run, and this 11-point deficit could be gone in a snap. But where should that run come from? What should spark it?
Right there, the ball's in the right place with Malcolm Miller.
It was a nicely executed pick and roll and give and go as well, but the defense of John Bailey Fields, it might not always count as a block. He may not be getting to the basketball, but he's changing a lot of shots.
Yeah, most definitely. He's there, great swipe at it, and a good thing for Miller to stay aggressive in the play, give his team a second chance opportunity here at the free throw line, try to get back down to single digits, but Miller's really the guy that can help the Dreamers explode here. He has that offensive capability from inside out. You know, he needs to be the machine right now and to get them going, the motor.
An opportunity that could open up here, though, is Kelvin Go has fouled out of the game. And now Kelvin Lim, oh, fresh legs, but not the same body, not the same heft as Delvin. And the question is, who will he guard here? Because even if it's Tevin Glass or Will Artino, that could be an offensive mismatch favoring Formosa.
Yeah, and even on the other side, he might not have the same offensive capability, so the defense can sort of sag off of Kelvin Lim a little bit and help try to stop Alexander and Fields down low.
Lim working against Glass. Young with 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Kelvin Lim. Fields puts it up. Couldn't get it. Another opportunity here for Formosa.
Great stops. We'll see what they can turn it into.
Kenny Chen has had the hot hand for the Dreamers. Got the pump fake. Glass shies away from the outside shot. Devin gets the bump, drops it in, count the basket, and give that man a bonus as well.
Glass, man, he knows how to come up big, and you know, he drove. Second defender picked him up, but he put his shoulder down. He just kept going. He had one place in mind to go. That was to the basket, and he's making it work.
I'm really impressed with that hesitation move. It was so simple. It did have a lot of movement, but just really took away the defense of Kelvin Lim.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'8", big, long legs. He's able to just get there in 2 big steps, make it happen.
Like we said, Formosa still in this, but John Fields saying, let me change that for a bit. Malcolm Miller trying his best to control his emotions, arguing with that call, and Tevin Glass just walking over and saying, next play, let's think about the next play.
Yep, that's right. That's the right attitude that Glass has. Malcolm Miller, I understand the frustration. That was pretty good defense, and it's frustrating when those little touches become fouls. As we see the replay right here, Fields going hard, takes the bump. We'll see, yeah, just a little contact on the arm. It seems so small, but it's the right call.
Well, what Miller will say is that the ball doesn't lie as Fields misses both free throws. Chen down the lane. Oh, it was almost there, but rimmed out at the final moment. Nonetheless, Kenny Chen will have a chance to add more to his total. And more importantly, eat a bit more of that lead that the Singapore Slingers are enjoying right now.
Yeah, Chen doing a great job. Comes off the pick and roll, sees that the gap is there. That's what you want to do, shoot the gap. He gets in there and really making the defense work, picks up the foul.
Now, Coach Neo Beng Shang, you rarely see him use this lineup when he has 2 local guards, Desmond O and Lim Jun Yuan sharing the floor, but Kelvin Lim on the floor, like we said, you know, having to guard that pace. It just wasn't working to perfection for him.
Yeah, and he's also had, you know, a starter go out to injury. He has a player fouled out, so it's really a different lineup for the Slingers to finish this game compared to their normal lineup. So we'll see how these guys can act here in the clutch time.
A turnover for the Singapore Slingers.
And the crowd that was silent 10 minutes ago has reawoken, and they're ready for a tough finish here in the last 4 minutes.
The Formosa Dreamers and their supporters have been resuscitated. Down by 4 points with 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining.
This is what these teams practice, though, folks. I mean, they've worked hard. It's going to be the execution in the end game. How well can they work together as a team to get these quality shots, execute their chemistry together? This is what it's all about.
Lee Shui Lin, the steady guard of the Dreamers, gets it to Will Artino. He sees an opening. Oh, the block from Fields.
Wow, what a big time block from Fields.
Jaron Young straight to the basket. The Dreamers also on the run. Tevin Glass, a sidestep, throws the ball away.
And that's not the execution you need right now. The Dreamers still have enough time. They got to take care of the basketball. That's how the Slingers got the big lead early, were these turnovers.
Look at that block. John Fields just getting to it right in the nick of time, and it opens up this transition attack for Jaron Young.
Artino wanted that goaltending call, but I think Fields met it at its peak.
Yeah, I agree with you. It seemed like it was right at that top. And Young working some magic here.
Man, Young has continued to impress me. I knew what he was capable of, but he has just been so consistent today here, just giving his team answers when they need it the most.
Jaron Young doing everything and practically destroying the entire defense of the Formosa Dreamers. He completes the three-point play, and Jaron Young has a total of 27 points now. Miller against Alexander, a solid screen from Artino. Malcolm couldn't get it. Again, the Slingers, they love fast breaks and fast-paced action, but no whistle there. Alexander felt like he should have been called for a foul. A bit of some extra contact there. Initially, Desmond though did not like it. He was about to charge at Chen and realize that maybe that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, Chen's a humble guy too, man. They're just out there playing hard. That's what you like to see. Guys going to work, battling out there, and you know, Chen just relentless attack, and we'll see. Good opportunity again to just trim this lead back down. And Chen at the line where he's been good so far today.
And he continues to be good. Kenny Chen now ups his career high to 20 points, and he's 7 for 8 from the free throw line. But you know, Kirk, the story of this game, it feels a lot like what we saw yesterday on the same floor, but with the story flipped. The Formosa Dreamers held control of yesterday's game, and CLS kept they kept trimming the deficit, knocking on that door, but the Dreamers always said no, and they always had something in return. That's what Singapore is doing right now.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. We'll see if the Dreamers can have that last explosion that the Knights didn't. But that's just credit to the Slingers today. They've been able to rally from every punch that the Dreamers have thrown their way. You know, and every clutch shot they've made, the Slingers have stayed composed and just done well.
Right now, the Formosa Dreamers cannot afford to waste any possession, as there's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. They're down by 7. Miller setting the pick. Kenny Chen picks his dribble up. He gets it right back. Gets away. Desmond gets left behind. Kenny Chen.
You can't stop that guy, man. He's just quick. He's strong. He even took a little bit of a bump. That was good defense. It's just great offensive execution by Kenny Chen.
And I love how he didn't ask for a foul. He just went straight to playing defense. The Singapore Slingers, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Fields providing the pick. Young from deep. No good. A golden opportunity now for the Dreamers.
And this defense has really come alive. If you look at that magic number of 85, You know, the Slingers are still there under 85, and that's sort of the goal of that I put out there for the Dreamers. That you got to try to keep the Slingers at 85 or under if you want to win this game. So right now, it's been the defense of the Dreamers keeping them or getting them back in this game.
That was just a great move from Glass. That's experience right there, Kirk. Understanding that your defender is not in a position where he can slide easily. So he attacked that gap and drew the 4th foul on Jaron Young.
Yeah, and that could be big. Now Young, who's an explosive shot blocker and good defender, he's going to have to be careful here in these last couple of minutes because they still need him down the stretch with the Dreamers knocking on the door again.
Free throws breathing some life into the Formosa Dreamers. 19 of 23 as a team. Kevin Glass goes 2 for 2. And it's just a 1-possession lead for the Singapore Slingers.
And the ball's in Alexander's hands, and I bet it'll stay there. This is what he lives for right here. This is what the Slingers need him to do, is create plays for his team.
Desmano gets to the cup, misses that layup.
And that's a good take to the basket, but that's not who you want shooting the ball under 2 minutes left.
Kenny Chen, no. Artino, still nothing there. And Fields grabs that rebound for Singapore. Oh boy, a couple of hurtful misses for Formosa.
Yeah, they had that chance. That might come back to hurt them.
Alexander asking for a guard to come up. Ball now with Young. He's the high point man for the Slingers. Sharon gets away. Fields with a putback.
And was that above the cylinder? When he put that in, we'll have to see that replay later. But either way, what a great putback by Fields.
Miller going one-on-one. Artino fakes the 3, draws mirror, gets the bump. And there's a bit of some pushing, but no foul play there, and just players understanding that it's a heat of the moment and you gotta stay composed. Now with this, under FIBA rules, as long as that ball is not sitting on that basket, Fields should have been able to put it back. But that is indeed a question. Was that ball sitting on the rim?
It was close. And now we'll see here. Even you know, it's a 3 possession games or possession ball game. Will the Dreamers want to get a quick trap and have to foul here, or are they going to just let 24 seconds go off the shot clock on this next possession? That's a decision we'll have to see what the Dreamers decide to do. They're still only down 1 possession, so I guess you just got to get a stop.
Artino gets both free throws to fall in. Singapore Slingers up by 3. And anything can still happen here with 44.9 seconds remaining. Jaron Young with 27 big points for Singapore, but they will need some more insurance as Formosa is really hoping to steal this win away from the Singapore Slingers. Timeout being called by the visiting team. Moments here inside the Changhua County Stadium in Taiwan as the home team, the Formosa Dreamers, down by 3 and ready to play defense with under 45 seconds remaining. Thank you so much for joining us. Judd Sulit and Kirk Long here serving you this ball game. And this is, while it's not ideal that they're down, this is a situation that Formosa will settle for. You know, they have a chance to win this with under a minute remaining.
Yeah, and I expect them, if they can get a quick stop, get the ball back with 35 seconds or so, or 30 seconds, they might go for a quick 2 or 1, or they have guys that can shoot that long 3 ball. They might try to tie it up if they first have to get this stop on this possession.
Pass play, Dion Young. Fields sees an opening. big hook shot for John Fields.
Yeah, this is clutch. And Malcolm rotated there, Miller rotated, but Fields just spins around him. And that's his biggest shot of the game so far.
Artino, the Dreamers have to go quick. Malcolm Miller couldn't get the layup, and Fields secures that board.
Got a foul.
The Dreamers, they still have one foul to give.
And Fields letting the crowd know about it, how big that shot was. He is pumped up there at half court.
Desmond saying he gotta chill. They're calming John Fields down. But I can feel for John Fields too. He's been big in this game.
Yeah, he's just pumped up. I mean, there's so many hours of work that these guys put into it so that he can make those shots in the clutch.
Alexander receives it, and that foul will send the X-Man to the free throw line. Lee Shui Lin will be whistled for that.
And the Slingers are doing what no other team has done so far this season, and you know, if they can close this one out, which it looks like they will, they've gotten to that number that we talked about a little bit, and you know, it's first loss for the Dreamers here at home, and they're not going to have too much time to think about this one though, as they want to learn from it, and they get to host, you know, the undefeated Alab Pilipinas here next.
Unfortunately though, a miss for Xavier Alexander, leaving a bit of some opening. The X-Man with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in this game. He makes the second.
The good thing here is they do get to advance the ball with a timeout, so we'll see if they can get a quick three. Still alive, just barely.
It's gonna take so much for the Formosa Dreamers to get back in this game, but they're just not gonna give up easily. It has been a great game, a great performance for several players on the Singapore Slingers squad. 27, 11, and 7, the stat line for Jaron Young. John Fields also working with a double-double of 18 points and 15 rebounds. We did mention the stat line of Xavier Alexander, and of course the performance of Ang Han Bin. Before he went down with that injury, he was huge in that first half.
Yeah, he gave him a big lift, and you know, his shooting was really what sparked them and got them this lead that they've been able to maintain for pretty much the rest of the game.
Not taking away the chance that they still work a miracle and steal the win, but was there anything missing for the Formosa Dreamers?
Oh man, I mean, they really tried to rally here in the fourth quarter, and they did with those defensive stops. It was just a little bit too much, or too little, too late. And the Slingers' offense was just flowing too well throughout this game. The Dreamers couldn't stretch it here far enough.
Jaron Young will not take the shot. Back to sportsmanship. John Fields, however, says, let me get 2 more points.
They'll take it.
And that will be the final bucket of this game. Formosa Dreamers upset at Fields. It will be the final score, 88-80 in favor of the Singapore Slingers, delivering the 3rd loss of the Formosa Dreamers. And John Fields not yet done talking to the crowd right now.
He's saying it's my house. Dreamers don't like that.
Well, the final score again is 88-80, and a strong performance for the Singapore Slingers. The Formosa Dreamers will settle for a split, and this will be their first loss in their home court. You got 2 more games today in your Season 9 of the ABL, so do watch out for the Saigon Heat hosting Mono Vampire and San Miguel Alab Pilipinas versus the Wolf Warriors. For my partner Kirk Law, for the entire team of the ASEAN Basketball League, my name is Judd Sulit. Thank you for joining us, for watching and supporting the ABL. Watch out for the 2 games coming up today.
往球场外移动，需要搭乘接驳车的球迷朋友，请至今天下车处乘车。那我们现场呢也备有排班计程车的服务，欢迎大家到大门口搭乘。待会呢我们要进行清场的动作。 VIP 席的朋友们，你们的商品呢，如果还没有领的话，好的话呢，或者是我手边找我的工作人员有一个专柜为你服务，领取你的商品。